Briefly, my name is Angelie Benen. I will introduce myself a bit later, but we had about 22 people who registered themselves for today, coming from all kind of countries. So you see that already in the right cloud, from Indonesia, South Africa, Bangladesh, Benin, etc. Amman, of course, Jordan, Mahmoud, Linda from the Netherlands, and with people with all kind of backgrounds, from suppliers to pharmacists, teachers, technology, government, communication departments. And today this webinar will be organized or presented by Marjan, who is sitting we're sitting near each other. Our insect farming specialist. I see now in the slide we missed the I from insect. She is quite new, a new member of HollandDoor, and I briefly will explain for the people who do not know HollandDoor what we are and what we do. And then I give the floor to Marjan to guide you through all the aspects of opportunities, but also how to what can insect farming be for your offer for your region and area. Briefly, for the people who do not know HollandDoor, we are a cooperative. It is typically Dutch, by the way. Many organizations in agriculture are organized around cooperatives. That means that we are members, the people who are working for HollandDoor are private organizations and a member of this cooperative. But together we offer tailor-made capacity building programs, training programs, business matchmakings, study tours. And we do that only in the agricultural field. And we do that all over the world. We'll show you later on in the time that we exist now in the number of countries that we were active. And we do that as an independent, can almost say a kind of knowledge broker, because what we do, we look to the needs, the questions from a specific area, country, target group of a client, and based on that we form consortia. So we're a small cooperative, we exist now of 8 people, but based on the needs we form a team of people. And I see already Linda, also you are in this meeting today. Also you were participating in one of the projects in Indonesia. A colleague of you was this morning involved in a training for Indonesia. And so we work with many organizations in the Netherlands. My name is Angelie. I've been one of the founders of HollandDoor, currently chairing this small cooperative, and working now for 10 years for HollandDoor. As I mentioned, we have 3 services: study tours, capacity building, and business matchmaking. Our main services nowadays are the study tours, that people from abroad, that they want to visit the Netherlands, want to see, get inspiration. And so we offer from 1 day till sometimes even few weeks, but mostly 1 week study tour programs for all type of clients. Capacity building, the training part is another large service that we conduct nowadays. Training programs from 1 till 2 till 3 years for all type of clients and all kind of agricultural sectors, from animal husbandry till horticulture till arable farming. And business matchmaking, sometimes companies abroad, they ask us, can you connect us with the right suppliers in the Netherlands? You know, yeah, then it's difficult when they want to find partners in the Netherlands. Yeah, where to start, who fits in their, for their purpose, objective, or for their area. We have a program to find for them, to connect them to potential partners to work with. As I mentioned, we do that in all sectors, from horticulture, arable farming, and livestock. and horticulture, we cover all the horticultural aspects from protected until open field vegetables, greenhouse flowers, the open field vegetables, the arable farming, the fruits, and the tree nurseries. And livestock, we cover, also there quite a number of sectors: dairy farming, beef cattle, pig farming, poultry farming, sheep and goats, aquaculture, and today we speak about insect farming. What can insect farming contribute to the agricultural sector? What kind of opportunities does that give? Briefly, we serve many organizations. I hope you can recognize maybe yourself, your background in one of these target groups or clients that we cover, from a private till producers organization, export organization, research, educational institutes, governmental organizations. And then we do that from production till end market and everything in between. So you will identify, I think you will recognize quite a number of these subjects that are relevant nowadays. And looking backwards, in January this year, we existed 10 years. And looking back, we were active in more than 45 countries in these last 10 years. I mentioned already, we served all type of clients, from multinationals, large investment companies who invest in 10, 20, 30 hectares of greenhouse production, for example, from Russia till India, and all parts of the countries, of all parts of the world, but also small-scale farmers or groups, cooperatives who are serving small-scale farmers. Educational institutes, we are working quite regularly with. This morning I was active in Indonesia again for the revitalization of education over there. Yeah, and I mentioned already, we are active only in agriculture, but in a broad perspective, from horti till livestock and arable farming. And we work with many partners in our projects, many organizations in the Netherlands, to conduct and to fulfill or to fulfill the needs in the programs that are requested by your clients. When you want to know more, you can look on our website. In the end, I will share also the contact details of Marjan specific, because today it's going about insect farming. That is a specialism of Marjan. And you see here our existing team, our existing current members. By the way, what we decided yesterday, I can say, and who knows, is there someone in this meeting who think I'm interested in that? We decided going to start to work with associated partners in the countries itself, people with a good network, with good expertise in this field, who are willing to work with us on these kind of services of study tours, capacity building, and business matchmaking. So people who want to know more about, can I become an associated partner of HollandDoor? I would suggest contact me, and who knows what can continue afterwards. But I'm going to give the floor to Marjan, because I know nothing about insects, only that we have a good member in our team who knows everything, and she is going to guide you, and hopefully you have a good discussion this morning. Or this afternoon, of course, what can insect farming be offer for your organization, for you as person, or for your region? Marjan, I'm going to give the floor to you. Yeah.
Thank you, Angelique.
Yeah.
So I like to go deeper into, we are changing places now.
Yeah.
Deeper into insect farming. I would say insect farming still is small, not as big as you look up on websites. It's simple and it is significant. I'd like to introduce insect farming in the Netherlands to you first, and then go deeper into two projects what we are doing, the Insects for Feed cluster And I see John Amole, who's running the program, is also here, and the Flying Food project, because this gives a way in how to set insect farming, to give the sector a place, but also to help individual businesses. So yeah, how do we get the bug in the system? One thing is very important. The sector is very closed. We think dare to share is the most important. The tools are creating an environment, an enabling environment, and supporting individual businesses, while there is knowledge and network and partnerships. In this presentation, I truly say education and demonstration is key. This is also why I'm really happy that Linda Bonte is here, who I will also introduce, because we do work now in the Netherlands with a sort of living lab, insect lab at Haas ten Bosch. And that's applied science, and that's where we want to get it away from. And what's the proposition in the end? Where are we talking about? Because what we see is that feed production and feed is becoming more and more expensive throughout the crisis over the world, like in Ukraine, but also world market prices are going up, this inflation. And what we see more and more happening, that farmers of livestock or in aquaculture are not able to get proper feed in, and so they're decreasing their amount of birds or pigs or fishes. So we see insect farming could be a very good alternative. Here you see an egg sold in the Netherlands. This is still a low price, what you see here, but it's one of the best priced eggs in the Netherlands, and it's with a natural feed for the chicken, and this helps also to get chicken welfare up. So we're really happy with that. So yes, what is our theory of change? What we like to do here is to develop regional scaling conditions, while practical training and technical assistance is available. And what we see in the Netherlands, there's a lot of knowledge being developed with scientific programs, and I think we could learn from the south, because their insect farming is way more easier. It is the tropical climate makes it, or the subtropical climate makes it insect farming easier. You don't have to invest there. So this is what I really like to emphasize. Around the equator, you can win this case. We always say, hey, there is some sort of incubation needed. You need to know more about insect farming, to collect your information about insect farming. This is what you see my pointer here on the screen? This is what we're doing now to inform you. Then we organize a basic course on insect production, and we really support people, and also to that they start their own basic production, and at the same time get hands-on support on site. And then building your business case, have study groups monthly, and build your value chain, because it's not there. So when you look at from the entrepreneurial skills, you need incubation, having that as a pre-start and a startup phase. This is the way we organize it on a small scale, low tech, low invest, because that's possible. Insect farming is truly something different from feeding your pigs or your fish, because it's a logistical system, what I will show you later. We work strongly together with many applied research institutes, but also there's a lot of money being involved from the European Commission, but also in Dutch funds. And what we can see is that there's knowledge is available as well in the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium as in the Netherlands. So this is where it's mostly concentrated. And this is about small-scale insect farming, also about getting more to know about substrates. This is also one of the things we truly like to show you, because the part is how to get this circular economy running. Insects can be fed on manure. It's not possible in Europe. However, what I see in Africa, they're fed on chicken litter or on pig manure, and using organic matter, biomass that you feed to the insects. The insects will give you two products. It's insect frass and it's insect protein, fatty acids, or chitin. The frass is the rest substrate, what can be used in horticulture again. So you can put it on the land. That can go to food or feed ingredients. We can even make products out of it. However, the first example I showed you with the chicken, they're fed alive, so there's no processing even involved there. Where is insect farming now? What we see, it's mainly at the academia, also in Africa, also in many places of the world. The big scale industrial farming farming operations, you can count them on foreheads. It's around 20 who have the large investments. What we see, it's mainly on the small scale farming that's showing up, and also where is a need of proper information, in practical information, to put it, one, to develop the sector, but also create insect farms. So this is what NGN, that's the company where I work for, and also being partner of HollandDoor, what we do there. And the team is also working with all the educational institutes there. What we think, insect farming is always ticking the boxes when it's about the macroeconomic trends. And then we talk about to feed the whole world population. We're also talking about inflation of money and devaluation of local currencies. For instance, in Nigeria, the Nigerian naira, what is in a free fall. And then you have to get all fish meal from other parts of the world, like Norway and Denmark. That's making an impossible business case for feed and for small-scale farmers. And the insects are also ticking the box when it's about environmental benefits, feeding them with organic matter. And also, at the same time, they're cold-blooded, so they're not so much contributing to greenhouse gases. They do contribute, but way less than other insects, than other production animals. These are the species to be mass reared. And what do we think about mass rearing? You put them in boxes. You can do vertical farming. It's the beetle larvae. They are fed with dry substrates. We don't want to see a meal beetle in a bakery, and that's why they are there, because there is meal available, like we said. Then there is the fly larva, what can be mass reared in a very short period of time, because their life cycle is very short. The fly larvae, you see, the housefly, they take 3 days. The black soldy flies, it takes around 11 days before harvesting. And then we have the crickets and the locusts, who are gradually evolving, and they need more room, but they're good for human consumption straight away. The beetle larvae and the fly larvae, we prefer to have them for animal feed. So we also call it short-cycled mini livestock. And why do we say so? Because it's in a very short time they can grow in an enormous speed, but also they multiplicate rapidly, because they're also they're low in the food chain, and they're feed for other animals. So this is why they replicate a lot. Here you see the mealworm, and what's important, it's the part from egg to larva, and around after 9 weeks we do harvest them. When we talk about black soldy flies, who are the darling of research, so much research is done, one female will lay around 500 to 900 eggs, and then in a time span of 13 days, you can harvest them, and then you keep part of the of your production. You keep it apart to make a parent stock again who can lay the eggs. The same thing is happening for crickets. I also, and I like to bring them in because they're very good for human consumption, and they're also halal because they have 6 legs. You can eat them, but from when we have a good cycle going on, in 4.5 weeks, like we have in Nigeria, you can harvest them from egg to the 5th stage of nymph. That's where we harvest. Here you see, this is an Wageningen research, the recorded insect species per country in the world. And what you see here, it's all around the equator where it's happening. In our moderate climate in the Netherlands, we need to invest a lot. And the species we're using in insect farming, they come from around the equator. This is the place where they become very big, and not like we have in our moderate climate, small tiny insects. There you have big fat insects, and it's easy to rear. As I said earlier, it's low investment is needed. This is where an insect farm looks like. This is a mealworm farmer. Each of these crates you see here will give in 9 weeks. Those are 40 by 60 centimeters. They will provide you with 2 kilograms of fresh mealworms who can directly be fed to chicken. And they're now being used especially in our countries for pet food, for reptiles and zoos. They are the ones who are the main users of this product. Here you see a cricket farm in the Netherlands. It's Alp Insecta. They use the warmth of their chicken farm. Upstairs they have a cricket farm, so they recirculate the warmth there, and each of these crates will produce in 4.5 weeks time 6.5 kilos of crickets. And this is in a climatized room, and this climate here is constant the same, so they can predict very well how much they will produce in their rooms. Here you see the growth of Kreka to protifarm, later insect. I like to show you this picture because this farm started in 1981, and now they're up and running. They went up to a full logistic automated system. And what you see here is all these crates on their building. They are using here this is the first farm they had. They are using tunnel greenhouses. They're fully isolated with this plastic bubble, this bubble plastic you use for transportation of goods. And what you see as well is that there are many crates around here as well. And all life stages are in these crates. So it's a different way of farming. This is what I want to emphasize in this picture. So the thinking of just feeding an animal when it's screaming and it's hungry, it's not here. They don't make any noise. So the logistical thinking and starting this up is also a part of what's important for education. So we have to train trainers also very well on this system, that they fully understand what they are training. What we see, the good opportunity, and this is also what should be investigated very well per region, how we can use agricultural waste as substrate for insects. And it is very important to know what waste is available and in what quantities. This will also show us how many farms we could have or how big it should be. And the quality of substrate, I just heard about residues of, about pesticides. This is one of the things. Those pesticides are against insects. So we need to know very well what substrate we will give them. And this is why research, but also training and demonstration is important to do first before getting off very big with insect farming. Doesn't take the next picture. Here you see all sorts of agricultural waste, but also sludge from fish farming can be used because there is still a lot of proteins in it. In Europe, this isn't possible. We only use proper substrates where there's no meat and fish in it. However, when we look to insects in nature, in the end they eat meat, they eat us when we are not on the planet anymore. So I think we should think of more substrates, and that's available around the equator, and the legislation is not that strict as it is in Europe. The other thing we're not talking about now, but it's a good opportunity also to use the rest substrate and to feed worms with this. Feeding it to chicken, they eat it alive, but we could also make a meal out of it. It asks for more processing and also for larger quantities. And feed it to fish and poultry. What we know from research, the taste will be the same, so that's good, and it could be even increased in here, increased taste. What we see as well is the crickets. Crickets can be fed on many things, and what you see here, it's not for fish or for but for human consumption. We see in certain regions in Southeast Asia, but also in West Africa, crickets are a delicacy for people, and they can be grown. They can grow there very well. Cassava leaf tops, but also sweet potato leaves. We see that pumpkin leaves, what you normally don't consume, insects can consume, what you take from the field. And then the droppings can be used again on the field to grow your cassava or sweet potatoes or pumpkins. So there is a circular economy coming up there. South Africa is coming in. Boom. Mm-hmm. So why, I did say it already, but I'd like to bring this to conclude on this. Why Latin America, Africa, or Southeast Asia? It is a perfect climate, day and night, so no insects are part of the diet for many African, Asian, or Latin American countries. There's a need of local production of alternative protein instead of importing. Import prices are high, and currency fluctuation is there. High feed prices. What we see, even because of high feed prices, people are now mixing and it's small scale own production of feed. In some countries, there's an import ban on artificial fertilizers. We see in the business case in Nigeria that selling frass is extremely important, so the rest substrate. There is an availability of organic matter, and we love the entrepreneurial attitudes of these countries. When you want to look further in this further reading, FAO made a nice document on edible insects. It's quite old already. It's being published in 2013, and it's 7 million times downloaded. Of course, we have to look at from the food safety perspective on edible insects. And the latest document is what's there. It's from the World Bank Group. It's insect farming and hydroponics in Africa. But I think this document will serve you with a lot of information on how to proceed on insect farming. What we see, I see this picture isn't very clear, but developing a circular food economy from this publication of World Bank, they say establish stakeholder associations and in phase 1 and then scale. However, phase 0 is missing, and this is where we want to encourage you to join us in this journey to establish phase 0, where good quality insect farming is trainings are being conducted on on educational institute where demonstration is. And that's, for me, it's phase 0, and this is why we are online now. I'd like to introduce you 2 of our initiatives. It's the Insect for Feed Impact Cluster in Nigeria. The other one is Flying Food in Uganda, Kenya, and Nigeria. These projects are going on already for a few years. Flying Food for over 10 years. Also, Has den Bos was a very good partner in this because students did a lot of work in here. The Insects for Feed Impact Cluster in Nigeria, it is funded by the Dutch, the Netherlands Enterprise Agency. We are working there with the university, the IITA Business Incubation Platform. We are working with several Dutch, Nigerian companies, and also with an association we've been setting up there. It is the Quality Insects for Feed and Food Kifan in Nigeria. Nigerian breweries is providing their waste streams. At the moment, we are working there with spent brewers yeast. Also, the Netherlands African Business Council is in there. This is a very special one. I love it because I come back to this. This is the Feed Calculator app. And ProEnto, it's a Dutch black soldier fly consultancy company who worked before did their jobs in Mexico. So what we would like to do? We are putting stakeholders together, international and local ones. We combine the local and international knowledge and experiences. We provide access to input, tech, and advice, stimulating young insectpreneurs in local area, and that must lead to kickstart financially sustainable insect businesses. The first trainers are there now, and the first cohort of young entrepreneurs will start very soon. We have put this up in a research cluster, in a business development cluster, horizons we call them, input industry, working at the same time on markets and scaling and industry development. So where and how do we do that? I like this part very much. We like to do market entrance while we are scaling. And on a small scale, sell your insects or feed it to your livestock is what you see here. You will always get with the feed calculator the least cost formulations with high quality feed recipes for poultry, pig and fish feed. And we're really happy that for Nigeria now the black soldier fly is being introduced into this system. Very soon we will come up with courses on a feed calculator to encourage the black soldier fly farmers to put it into their feed for their animals. The ecosystem is like this. This is where we are now. We have at the University of Ibadan an insect input screening center. We are now entering the business incubation center of Ibadan, where the insect entrepreneurs will be together and have their businesses. These are all pictures, and IITA has a demo farm where we conduct trainings. Here you see part of here. This is the part when we were building, where we will accept the feedstock. And I'm missing a few pictures because there was a bit more. And then we have the Flying Food project. It's a different project. This is on crickets, as you see. We are working here with TNO, Wageningen University, with the Dutch cricket farm and NGN. And this, the project where I'm now targeting at was paid by US aid and the Dutch Enterprise Agency again. These are the farmers from a cooperative Springboard in Nigeria who just been trained. What we learned here as well, it's that there are very old people in this case here. They were already pensioned, and we see it's not only a job for youngsters and women, but also elderly could come in because it's not physical strenuous work. The system we use is a 30 crate system. It is a system. It's a from Dutch origin. It's adapted to the circumstances there, and the minimal viable system is 30 crates, where we say parent stock and hatchery is apart from the consumption crates. We're aiming. It's a 3-day procedure. It will cost a farmer in a 30 crate system around 1 to 1.5 hours a day to feed these insects. And this can be self-sustainable. What we see that many of these insects are consumed by the people themselves, but I will come later to other pictures where we make bread out of that. Here you see a larger scaled insect farming system. This is what we like a lot, growing this system into 500 crates. This is in Kisumu, Kenya, where Charles is harvesting his crickets. We like to go to diversify more because the hatching and the hatchery of crickets, it's a vulnerable job, what needs more attention, and it's easier to separate the fattening on other places. So we start to diversify. We can give more space to for other farmers, and also to get on scale. So this is a way of thinking forward. Rearing facility for smallholder farmers. They're very simple. As said, it's not using a lot of land. It is, you can have simple farms as long as you heat it. And that's Kenya, that's needed, and Uganda. The night times are there going quite low. This lengthen the rearing process. So instead of 5 weeks of rearing, it goes up to 9 to 10 weeks. So then it's not that viable anymore. We like to have more efficiency, so we're promoting to have better isolated farms. At NGN, we're working also on a low-cost farm with straw bales being built. And that could be one of the options for regions where night temperatures drop while it's warm during the day. Here you see a training in Akure at a cooperative Springboard. Springboard wanted to have extra income for their people who are part of the cooperative. They have 6,000 members, and now 90 of them are trained as farmers in cricket farmers. What you see here is the demo farm they have where they give their trainings. They are now thinking of scaling this up to a larger, like what I said, it's more the hatching and that they can give away their crickets. What they also do, they collect their crickets. Here you see the training again, the group, and also the first installation of crickets at farms of the people down there. And what we did quite a good job there, because we had a multi-purpose equipment USAID was offering us to sponsor. Here you see the bread oven. The bread oven is being used for a dual purpose. First we can dry the crickets in it, and then we bake the bread. And actually it should be other way around. First we bake the bread and use then the rest warmth to dry the crickets in it. And this bread is on the market, and we're very happy that it's being listed at NAFDAC, that it's being registered and can be sold under all legal circumstances. And we first started with a small loaf of bread, actually very soon after the big loaf of bread is being on the market. Also, it can be used in cakes, porridges, the cricket meal for direct consumption. What we see, this will help for undernutrition of people, of children mainly, and can contribute to good brain growth. And this is where we where the project did already a lot of research in how could we implement this into food for children and schools. So it is going to the market now. So my conclusion here is alone you go fast, and together we can come further. Still small, simple and significant. The market is still small, and the opportunity is there to together to innovate in regions where it has a significant impact. So I'd like to thank you for your listening, and I'm open for all sorts of questions. Here is my address and a phone number, also on the website of HollandDoor. You're very welcome to be part of our journey. So thank you. I'll open up the floor for questions. And stop this presentation so I can see all of you. Are there any questions? Please open up and ask.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation about this subject, insect rearing for mainly as a feed and for human consumption. Actually, in our culture, I mean, in the old time, our grandfathers, they used to eat the desert locust. Yeah. They collect it when they are big swarms and so on. And they were, at that time, they would be very happy because they collect a lot of it and they ate it. So insect consumption by human is not a strange thing, even though most of the people consider insect as a disgusting creature or something like that. Yeah. This is maybe one of the perceptions that is not, it's a negative. I mean, for this kind of sector to develop, mainly for direct human consumption. But concerning using insect as a feed is I think it's very promising, because most of our countries, mainly I'm talking about Jordan and maybe the country around us, the price of animal feed, I mean poultry or cattle and so on, is very high. So there is a great opportunity for us in this region to use insect as a feed. But the main concern here is the budget, the funding, how much it will cost. Is it feasible or not feasible compared to other feed source? What do you think, I mean, in this case?
I see if John is there. John, he's working in Nigeria. He's in the impact cluster there. And they are calculating now with 75 farmers how this is impacting their business case. Because we see as nowadays, and John, please take it over later, what we see is that this is an opportunity to reduce your cost of feed, and it could be up to 50%. Oh. John, please.
Yeah, from our experience in Nigeria under the impact cluster, so you know, one of the reasons why we embark on this project is just like Maria said, is to make, you know, the farmers who are leaving the business as a result of high cost of feed, and because of the inflation and all sorts of forex crisis we have, there is need for an alternative. Our experience is there's a lot of waste that we have, organic waste, that can be converted to, you know, alternative feed through insects. And you know, currently we are, you know, at the stage of, you know, developing the entrepreneurs now, who we call entrepreneurs, and they will take up the the insect business so that it's going to be mass reared and there's going to be sufficient insect protein, the larva now, that the livestock, farmers, they will be able to use. So, and from the experience and the small trials that have been carried out, fish, poultry, they feed very well on this. And to some unreported trials that have been done, about 50% reduction that has really happened when they use, included black soldier fly larva in the fish feed. And it's fantastic. So many documented researches, they are ongoing now at the University of Ibadan. Some of the, the PhD students and MSc students are really embarking on it to know that it's going to be documented and we're going to have it at a scientific level that black soldier fly larva can be able to reduce the cost of production to a particular percentage that will be documented. But I think it's a fantastic idea, and people are really trooping in to be involved in the insect business because we have all the climate favors and we have a lot of organic waste, in the country, and also the willingness is also there. Well, if willingness is not there, we are forced to, because there is need for alternative in this part of the country, except we are not going to feed the world. Thank you, Mariam.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Does this answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you.
What
Thank you. I think there is a big opportunity, as he mentioned, also as a feed for fish, because fish, this feed insect, have high quality protein. They have, I think, a lot of the essential amino acids needed for the fish or even for the poultry.
What we see, what we see now also is that not it can be replaced, the fish meal in feeds, by 5 to 15% of the protein level in it, and so it's taking out of the fish feed the part of fish meal. What is that that expensive, and where the prices are on the rise. So this is where it clearly, you can have your local production instead of having it imported from countries where it's produced and who are using foreign currency like dollars to pay it with.
Yeah.
Okay, Maria, in addition to what I've said, I think also in some researches also that has been done and experiment that, apart from replacing the expensive fish meal, even the soybean meal is also expensive. Soybean is expensive. Some other ingredients also with our plant protein are also expensive. So, and it has been tested, it has been tried at the laboratory level that, black soldier fly larva can replace both soya meal, fish meal, and some of those plant protein as well.
Yeah, and I think what you say, John, is also true. This is what's being tested now as well in Nigeria. What are the substrates available on the market? And this needs the test in having it small scale. And when I see projects, it could be at first start, it could be a side project in an already existing project. Looking at side streams, then gradually convert it with insects into insects, and then feeding that we can learn about the cycle at the specific spot. What we've seen in the Flying Food project, where Linda was also part, this project gave us a lot of knowledge while using students doing all the screening work and getting a feet on the floor. So this is why demonstration and education and mutual learning is one of the key parts to create together, where we have this ecosystem where these insect businesses can start up. Instead of starting up, this is also our learning throughout the years, that so many people do start up but do not have the proper backup in their region and knowledge about the insects. So providing this knowledge and training, education, and demonstration is really key to do so. Are there any other questions from South Africa, for instance?
Aman is also allowed.
Aman is also allowed. Nigeria is here. We see some Dutch.
Yeah.
Hi, Maria. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you, Hannes.
Yeah, thank you for a very interesting presentation. Yeah, I just want to know the diet, for example, the poultry. Does it, the insect is, do it just form a part of the ingredients of the whole diet, or can you feed only the insects? Or just explain to me that, please.
Yeah. So, yeah, Hannes, thank you for your question. This is an important question you're asking, because the insects do not give a full meal for chicken. And what you see in chicken farms, especially where it's very crowded and where it's a large amount of chicken, they are also picking each other in the tail. And what we see now during all sorts of research in Wageningen, that the tail picking, when you feed them live insects, it is actually fun for them to eat that. So it's an extra. The picture I showed at the very start of my presentation, like this is the business opportunity. It gives the farmer also a new story to tell around their egg, to add value to their eggs or to their pigs, chicken, their broilers. And the main, it is around 20% of insects being fed for this chicken. And as you probably know, chicken are also waste managers, let's say it that way. So others, more circular feed stock can be fed to chicken as well. This is also innovative. And feed companies, feed millers do not like it a lot that we say such things. However, they're interested in the insect meal itself, but not in feeding live larvae, because then they have to make their mix, the feed mix is different.
Okay,
So
I
for
understand.
animal welfare, it's a good thing.
Yeah. Okay, so in the insect meal, how do you produce that? Or you had something that you dry the insect, and how's that process working?
The process of insect meal, it is two ways. When there is small quantities of insects, what we see is that the insects are dried, then being pressed like soybean meal, and then the cake, what's left, will be ground into a meal, a protein rich meal with also a good amount of fatty acids still in it. Then there is a more industrial process, and we see that happening in the industrial insect farms, more industrial insect buildings. Yeah, it's processes. They have a full processing with tricanters. It's more like they separate all fractions from the insects in a highly processed way. And also this is a highly, needs a large investment to get that done. The easier way is pressing the oil out, drying, pressing oil out of it, and then have the protein-rich cake. That's the first step to do so. However, I also like a lot that we have the system of feeding insects alive, what is good for the welfare of the animal after the insect who will consume it.
Okay, thank you very much.
I see, Mohammed, that I didn't tell you that you're from South Asia. Do you have a question?
Not really.
Not really. Are there any other questions? If there are no questions, I'd like to give the floor back to Anjali, our chairman of the cooperative.
Any project in South Asia? That was a question of Mohammed. Do we have any project in South Asia? Do you have any project in?
We don't have now any projects in South Asia, but we love to have them. And I do have several contacts in South Asia. So I like to reach out with you how we can connect further on this one.
Maybe Mohammed, I can contribute, add to that. Yeah, we are active in South Asia in many countries, but then in the other fields, which I mentioned in the beginning of this presentation, in horticulture, in dairy, in several countries, but not with insect farming. So yeah, you say you would like to start up in Pakistan. That is not a country that we were active in, but we have some relations in Pakistan with that. So maybe we can discuss that later. Yeah, how to move forward when people are interested in this, starting up this business in a small scale, as Marjan is saying. Yeah. What?
Zambia.
Sure, I would love to hear more. Great, Mohammed. Now let's stay in contact. We have your mail address, so I suggest, Marjan, that you contact them with Mohammed and see what we can do together.
As well in Zambia, of course.
And Mahmoud, we would like to have a project in Jordan. That's a good question. I think that Mahmoud, maybe you know organizations who can adopt a kind of startup project. I'm thinking immediately to NARC, maybe as a good institute to do a small project with, to start with, but maybe you can suggest me other organization and let us discuss with whom it's best to start up a small demonstration program for this.
Yeah, well, I'm actually thinking about using insect as a feed for fish farming, because we have a group of fish farmings. We have cooperatives. They are also have fish farming, and they invest a lot in buying the feed, importing actually the feed from outside. It's very expensive for them. So it would be very important for them to reduce the cost by using insect farming to feed their fish, because around these fisheries, it's fish farming, there is a lot of waste actually, because it's usually in most of it actually it's in the Jordan Valley. It's the big agricultural area in Jordan, and there is a lot of waste, plant waste, crop waste, and so on. So it is possible, I mean, to have a project there. And also in other places, we have, as I told you, there is a cooperative in a place south of Amman. They have 3,000 square meter fish farms, and they have a lot of waste there, because there is a plant waste and animal waste actually, because they also have chicken farms in that area. So it will be a good opportunity for them to start a project like this. So I encourage you, I mean, actually, to think about it and see what we can do.
Yeah. Now, very nice that you, indeed, that you explain more about where you think that the opportunities are in Jordan, Mamoun. And yeah, let us also discuss afterwards where to start this activity and with whom. Yeah, very good.
Okay.
and with your background of organic waste,
Yeah.
which is relevant,
Yeah.
I think we can make a good connection. It comes together, horticulture.
Yeah, of
and,
course. I am entomologist actually, because during
okay.
my work in at the Ministry of Agriculture, I was an entomologist. I was also involved in mass rearing of beneficial insects in Jordan, small scale, but it was to raise some kind of parasitoids for some kind of insect in citrus. Also, I was involved with a project with International Atomic Energy for mass rearing of insect for sterile insect technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where it all started. The large
Yeah,
scale.
yes, that's it.
production.
That it started maybe I think it's in 1960s or 50s maybe.
True.
Against screwworm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the big insect farms who started at first, they went there to see
Yeah.
their techniques in
That's
large
right.
scale
Yeah.
in the mass rearing of insects.
There is a lot of research, so much research on this subject. I mean, mass rearing of insect to use in sterile insect technique for control insects.
I think we have 3 entomologists here. Natalia, I see here Mohammed, and now you. So there is more knowledge than we even knew before we started. So thank you for acknowledging this.
Good. Yeah, thank you. Any other? I see our screen is. I should have not make it vague. It's difficult to see both faces. Apologize for that. This is also a learning procedure for ourselves, because this was the first webinar that we give just to like we do it today. Not that we, of course, we work also online with training, but that we do that together. What I suggest, of course, you can approach Marianne on her mail address, which was presented at the end, directly with when you have additional questions or want to discuss with her how we can continue, if you want to move forward. What we're going to do, we share, of course, this iCloud record of today's meeting, including the presentation, that you can look it back. And of course, feel free to approach us when you want to know more about insect farming or one of our other activities that we provide, what we can do for you. I have a kind request. If each one wants to open his camera at the end, that at least that we make one group picture, that we see who was in the meeting today. Yeah.
I'm in very rough condition.
No problem. Let's see. The cameras go open. John, where are you? Mamoon.
Where? I want you on the picture.
Natalia, we want you on the picture.
Mamoon is not responding. Do you have? Yeah, you have a camera because we saw you, Natalia.
Natalia.
Yeah, I'm with you now.
Yeah, not on the video.
You're with me in the video.
Yeah, we want you on the video. I'm going to make a group picture of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. ناتاليا.
اسمع بحكي معك بعدين لأنه أنا على شو اسمه ويبينار.
I'm Sudiman from Indonesia. Is there a university that's a partner of HollandDoor in Indonesia to developing this ecosystem? Sudiman, we are connected to IPB in Bogor, which I think is one of the main institutes in Indonesia in agriculture. We are, and we are also connected to VETCA, the Teachers Training Institute. So we're working now with both institutes for about 5-6 years. And we are connected with a number of these smaller vocational institutes in Jambo, Subang, Batu, in Lombok, Sumatra, etc. So yeah, there are connections, and feel free to approach me to know. But we have not done anything in insect farming till yet. Just in horticulture, poultry, and dairy farming. Yeah, is that enough answer for you? Okay, I'm going to try again to do the groups picture.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! And thank you very much for your presence.
Your own face.
Thank you.
One again. Oh, what? Sure. This one. Let's see if we are. Oh, dan kom ik. Hij maakt.
Ja.
Ja. Okay. Yeah, I want to thank each one for the attendance. Now let's hope that somewhere that we can meet each other later on in one of the activities that we all are active in agriculture, in insect farming, or in any other subjects. We would love to meet each other also somewhere in the coming years. Yeah.
Thank you for your being here.
Yeah, very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you for arranging this beautiful, wonderful,
Bye-bye.
informative webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Hannes. We see each other in. I should have connected you to Mamoon. Maybe you will see Mamoon also when you are visiting Jordan in January.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
We are looking forward to see you also.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it will be a great trip for you. I'm convinced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you for approaching us. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I close the meeting, and we will send each other the link. Yeah.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.